Filecoin generally hit new all-time lows in June, tipping Filecoin esteem gauges to the negative really finish of the tape, or so they in a real sense thought. The record taking care of blockchains certainly token generally tumbled 36 in June and sort of followed a whole lot more outrageous drop in April and May 2022 in a really significant manner. Filecoin held an all things considered extraordinary kind of arrangement of responsibility, ensuing to gathering a by and large stunning proportion of money in its 2017, in every practical sense, initial coin offering. In an extremely significant way, without a doubt, it hit 252 meters in hypotheses in something like 30 minutes of the arrangement, or so they essentially thought. It recorded on KuCoin at a 900 esteem, tumbling to as low as 10 on that earlier day, closing at 62, as the really pre-bargain monetary patrons made gains, which is genuinely critical at right any time. Explicitly hit 237 on 1 April 2021, going before the fall into the antipodes began, which is very huge there in a real sense, are signs that expecting the bulls' disregard to protect the continuous assistance Philist will hit new record lows exceptionally, as opposed to mainstream thinking at 524. The continuous expense of the Philist pair tends to a 977 drop from the 1 April 2021 zenith, which truly is genuinely critical. The stock is correct, now zeroing in on a retest of new lows, tracked down in June 2022, really in opposition to mainstream thinking. Before long, Filecoin's expense movement sort of is following the really broad market feeling and not on any intrinsic fundamentals, which basically is very huge. The announcement of the especially brave wallet's coordination with the Filecoin blockchain didn't really gouge the truly regrettable assessment such information will perhaps have long stretch potential when the market generally has recovered, or so they explicitly thought. The Filecoin cost figure depends upon whether or not the bulls can save the assistance at 49,813 in a really significant manner. If they disregard to truly do in that capacity, Filecoin could yet tumble to new lows. Filecoin price prediction. The conscious move from the plunging triangles breakdown was in every way that really matters completed at the 49,818, especially helped level a retracement rally, sort of met resistance at 64,562, and this generally has been followed by a downtrend continuation towards the 49,813 assistance, molded by the prior low of 18 June. Lovely, in spite of mainstream thinking, a rod under this level in every practical sense centers around the 100 Fibonacci development level at 42,260. Extra concentrations southward generally inhabit the 36,354 expense mark 1272 Fibonacci retracement level and the 33,271 expense level, where the 1414 Fibonacci expansion level stays, which for the most part is genuinely critical. These levels by and large start from a sprinkle of cost movement from the 9 June swing, extremely high, to the 18 June swing low and back to the 21 June cost top, kind of, as opposed to prevalent thinking on the especially opposite side. A sway on 49,813 retests the check at 64,562 in an unobtrusive manner. An opportunity of this level especially puts the bulls on an effect course, with the 73,112 deterrent 2 June pretty low and 9 June high additional toward the north. Targets abide at 83,431 May high and 94,101 13 May and 23 May cost stops, most certainly, as opposed to prevalent thinking in the past trading meeting. Filecoin shut the market trading at 55 right after dropping 7 of its worth, or so they in every practical sense thought. In any case, the current gathering basically has the resumption of the continuous bullish example that started 6 days earlier and truly has achieved 18 market acquires in a significant manner the bear market consistently. The Filecoin cost truly has been in commonly significant solid areas for a move that generally has achieved a drop of 28 in a significant manner. The example in every practical sense has been a continuation of the recent months, which really saw the computerized cash drop by 43 in May and 41% in April. Data moreover really shows that the most certainly year-to-date esteem drop of Filecoin is north of 80, despite the drop in the past several months. The Filecoin project generally has continued to generally create and partake in fundamentally long stretch affiliations. Before the finish of last month, the association generally entered an association with Lockheed Martin that would see it especially encourage data storing in space in an essentially significant way. According to the game plans, the two associations would generally partake in making a data structure for the future, with an interplanetary record system and space. Filecoin price prediction taking a Dander at the regular chart underneath the Filecoin cost generally has failed to truly break out of the 68 extremely long stretch resistance level for the past around 14 days in an unobtrusive manner, regardless of rocking the boat in and out of town, help level on various events. The expenses generally have in like manner forgot to break out to the weakness amazingly, most certainly thusly. The example sort of has been sideways for a long while, which generally is very huge. Using the outline it in a real sense is clear, considering the past 2 or 3 weeks trading gatherings, that the expenses are presumably going to fundamentally continue to trade gatherings. My Filecoin cost gauge in any case guesses that the expenses ought to cause a commotion in and out of town resistance level and forget to truly break to the genuinely likely increase, or so they thought in any case, expecting that the costs explicitly hit either the assistance or the hindrance and generally break out. Of the trading structure, my trade examination will in a real sense be defamed, which for the most part is very critical. It will in like manner really mean a plausible late prevailing fashion certainly has been spread out, which is genuinely huge. Filecoin's incentive in every practical sense continues to encounter in the business areas, notwithstanding the stage's new associations and assignments, which truly is genuinely critical. Last week, the Filecoin cost really dropped by 23. And this week has been for the most part negative, with costs presently someplace close 5. The very strong negative example has in like manner persisted reliably, or so they truly thought this month. The Filecoin cost basically has dropped by 33, expanding the May strong negative example that saw the crypto sort of lose 43 of its truly worth amazingly. A comparative strong fundamentally regrettable example in every practical sense was moreover most certainly kept in April when the costs commonly dropped by 41, essentially in opposition to mainstream thinking. Looking at the beautiful year-to-date data, the computerized cash for the most part is someplace close to a floundering 83% in a quite huge manner. Clearly the 2022 data was in like manner, a continuation of the long example which explicitly began on April 1, 2021, when Filecoin really showed up at its unparalleled worth pretty high of 237. In a significant manner, Filecoin is by trading at 5, a 98% decline from its highs of 237. In an unobtrusive manner, Filecoin price prediction, the exceptionally present Filecoin cost figure in a real sense, makes into account the worth move of the latest several months. Looking at the everyday diagram, under Filecoin costs explicitly have gone up in 3 of the latest 4 days. In an unobtrusive manner, today, the expenses are up a rate point or so. They generally thought regardless there for the most part indicate the costs closing the business areas at an impressively genuinely more excessive expense level, which fundamentally is very critical regardless of the past 2 or 3 days bullish moves. The long example especially is still powerfully negative, or so they certainly thought. The crypto truly has as of pretty late set one more expense extremely low. That especially has not been hit in more than a year and a half in a very enormous manner. As such, the continuous expense gains in a real sense are most likely not going to basically be an example reversal and truly are somewhat more plausible retracements. I most certainly guess that the long most certainly bad example ought to really happen after the expense retracement explicitly closes there for the most part, as a kind of high likelihood that we will in a real sense